Hello everyone, welcome to episode 99 of the GrowCast show. My name is Yu Hong, I'll be your host for today. And today in the studio we have Stacey. Stacey is the trainer and director of A Stella Consulting. Let's welcome Stacey.
Hi, Yu Hong.
Okay, let's get into the questions. So, Stacey, how has your journey as a mother and a professional shaped the way that you work today?
I feel that when I became a mother, right, it's not just about being myself, but it's about stepping into a bigger person because I want to set a good role model for my daughters, right? So it's about doing things intentionally and always looking back on how I can improve myself every day.
And what does enough mean to you personally and financially?
I think in this world where we have a lot of different pressure and, sometimes we always want more in terms of our career, our money, and different areas of life because we are always comparing ourselves on Instagram, Facebook, the profiles that we see, but it's always about what you want for your life. How you design it, whether is it in terms of money or rest, what is enough for you, and it doesn't have to be affected by external people and things that are happening.
You wear many hats, mother, director, coach. How do you keep all of them aligned?
I feel first is about managing the energy first. It's not about time management, but energy management and making sure that, the energy that flows is consistent throughout whatever roles that I'm playing, right? With the intent to nurture and, value add to the people that I am interacting with.
Why do you choose to build your career in the financial services industry?
I would say because of motherhood.
Okay.
Right, because for ladies, they have very short timeline, I would say, because they want to spend more time with their kids as they're growing up years. And that needs flexibility. And that's why I chose to explore this financial industry when I was about to graduate.
What keeps you inspired to serve high-achieving families year after year?
I would say that I love solving problems. I would say it's a way that you add value to and how you change your life with different solutions. So it's not about just a fixed solution, but using my resources to be able to create something that is specifically unique for them. And I know high achieving families, they want their life to be good in every area, but that is not possible, right? So it's about designing what is enough for them.
Okay, what's one life lesson that keeps you grounded no matter how busy you are?
That's a tough question. Right. So as I reflect back on my career, I think it's about, the time where how the whole career changed when my best friend was faced with an accident overseas and how I was able to value add to her and her spouse who had to travel back for a medical emergency, right? So as a friend, if I'm not in that career, I will just be there physically. I won't be able to help so much, right? But at the end of the day, it's about giving them peace of mind. And I realized that the things that I'm doing, be it big or small, is making a difference in somebody's life. So that's how I design my whole career around this team.
How would you describe your ideal client, like the parent or family that you love to work with?
I would say, I do work with every client, but of course the ideal types are those that, they would want to create something for themselves, be part of the change. And it's like a working partnership where we can brainstorm ideas and, I can be the sounding board because it's always about not the plan A, but the plan B where I come in.
What inspired you to create the Heart of Enough for parents?
I would say harmony because I find that money sometimes create conflicts in people. And it's not just within family, but sometimes within ourselves as well, because that's where we feel that our self-worth is tied to, what we can provide for our loved ones and how others see us. But when we come to the heart of enough, you redesign this life in different areas of your life. And that's where you have a strong compass and you won't get shaken when the storm comes.
What is the biggest parenting challenge that you see for high achievers?
I would say because high achievers want things done their way, right? They have done it and, the results is there. So it's always about transferring that same skill set and, the same mindset as well to the kids. But we often, forget to see the kids for who they are because they have their own potential. And if we are always, coming up from the authoritative side of making them do things which they might not want, we actually curb the potential that they innately have.
How does the Heart of Enough help parents model financial and emotional resilience?
I would say it's about looking within themselves, right? On first designing what is enough for me in terms of, even in the areas of rest, my career, and also in terms of finances, right? So once that is aligned, then they have the clarity to relook at what are the limiting beliefs that I might have in terms of money and redesigning it so that they can pass on the right values to the next generation.
What are some subtle but powerful shifts parents experience after your workshop?
I would say the strongest shift they look at is when they look at how they do things about spending. For example, are they spending out of guilt, out of influence by others, rather than, I do it because I want to. So that is very intricately tied to, how much money we have, how we want to earn that money as well. And that is always translated from the values we had as child, from our families or the surrounding, which is the limiting beliefs. So with relooking that and just shifting one of it, that's where the shift starts to happen.
Why do you think it's crucial to talk about values before we talk about wealth?
Right. So, there are incidences where people say something or do something to you and you really flare up and burst out, but that's not the usual you, right? So that's where our values are being infringed. If we are not aware of these values, there will be a lot of triggers that come our way and we don't know why, right? And sometimes then we won't be in control of our life. So having that clear values and letting your children know what these values are, and they can choose and pick for themselves what they want to keep and what other values they want to add as growing up years.
What's one parenting myth that you love to debunk in all your sessions?
Parents have to be a good role model and know everything. That's a myth because, nobody teach you to be a parent, right? And every parent has a different set of kids and, that comes with different challenges. So a lot of people can give you advice, but there's no one right advice for you. It's always about finding your own way and growing and learning together with your child. So you don't have to know everything. And there are times when you don't know, it's okay. It's to find a solution together. And I would say parents, if they do wrong, please apologize to your children as well.
You also contributed to the book, Hwada.
Yes.
Yeah. How does your story there connect to the message of The Heart of Enough?
I would say the story there is talking about the money mindset. So I took the first 2 chapters. That's where you start to build the mindset of, it's not just about chasing for more, but it's about how you redesign your life, right? In different areas. So same for budgeting. Sometimes people dread this topic of budgeting, right? Because it feels very restrictive. But it's about how you see things from another perspective. It actually frees you instead of restricting you, right? So that's when enough comes in, because enough doesn't happen when you have more money, but it's about how you live and plan within your means and design that inner world of harmony that will translate to the outer world.
Why do you start teaching kids about money through Money Enough?
I would say it all ties in with the harmony for family, right? Because to avoid having that conflict and for people, right, of the next generation to be able to manage, that's where children are our future. And having that, good personal values regarding money and habits, it will help them to translate into better adults and that translates to a harmonious family.
What's the biggest misconception parents have about kids and money?
They would say, it's still too early for my kids to learn, it must be maybe in their early teens, pre-teens, that's where they start to learn and would say that, I grew up like that, right? Because I don't know about it, but I'm still okay. So that's the biggest myth because kids who learn early, like any other habits, they need to have regular, learning about it, practicing about it. That's where your awareness increase. And when we grow up, when we hear all this personal finance term, it's not alien to us anymore.
And can you share a memorable moment where a child surprised you in one of your workshops?
I would say I was having a workshop, right, in class of 15 packs. So that was a holiday workshop and I was at a preschool. And there was different ages. So the youngest was 4-year-old.
Okay.
And we were talking about concept about needs, wants, budgeting, impulse decision. And she can actually follow. And whenever the questions are asked, she will pull your shirt and come and answer and whisper in your ears, and they are all right answers. She can actually tell why we don't spend on the spot. We have to wait, and these are good answers. So you never know what a child can do and translate and grow up to be. And that's where, parents need to have the openness to open this door for them to have the opportunity to start.
How early is too early to teach children about money habits?
I would say because our values and habits starts young, and by the age of 8 to 9, right, the values and habits are already ingrained in them. So when we start early in their preschool days, like the 4-year-old I mentioned, right, that is very good, because to them, they start to see what is money and what is the value of money. So my focus is to teach them what is the value behind, because parents do spend their time, to earn this money, and it's for the kids to be able to appreciate the time that is spent, the effort that the parents spend on every dollars that they are spending.
What values beyond the dollars and cents, right, does money enough instill into kids?
I would say it's about making choices, being able to differentiate, how to make your own choices despite all the peer pressure, and also about looking at how money affects our future, and how parents are putting in effort, right, to earn this money and to be able to pass to us, and to treasure every moment, every dollar that the parents pass to you. And at the same time, because money is always exchanged with time, right, and time is limited. So whether we want to splurge the money that parents give, it depends on, how much time they have given, and do we really want to do that? Yeah, so that actually put a pause to the kids.
How do you make money lessons fun and relatable for children?
Okay, we play lots of games, scenario games, right? Even for relevant things that are happening. For example, when we had a Labubu trend, we were looking at, the prices of Labubu, why it increased, versus, you investing in PopMart. What is the percentage of increase, and is it really worth to go and queue and, pay 2-3 times of the value? And of course, we do have scenarios where, they make the purchase and that's where the sale happen. So their purchase decision, whether is it the right one, and is to review. And I would say the lesson would be to pause before we do impulsive purchases.
Many parents feel financially stretched despite them having high incomes. Why does this happen?
Most of the time is we overcommit, or it's the lifestyle that we want to maintain, especially when, I felt into this trap before, because when the kids are young, you always want to know what is their talent. So you will bring them to different classes, right? From piano to left brain training, to gym and all. And you realize that every dollar adds up. So the first child is still okay. Once you have the second child, that is double of what you are spending, right? Then I started to cut down. Then I realized, you send them for these classes, but at the end of the day, they might not be interested, and they develop their interest along the way as they grow up. So now at this point, I would say, let them grow up. Let them explore and, make the decision for themselves. And for me to relook at my finances and not overcommit, because if today they want one enrichment class, maybe 1 in 3 months, right? Then I will move to the next one. Yeah, that's how I'm budgeting right now, compared to the youngest day when, my only child, and I will tend to splurge a bit more.
What's one question you wish more parents would ask themselves before they commit to making a big financial decisions?
The question would be, how is this decision impacting my future? Whether is it the right one? Right, it's firstly to sit down with your partner and to relook at, how is this going to affect your current lifestyle, future lifestyle, and what are the possible expenses that is coming together with this, right? So when I was in my younger days, I like to go with the flow. It's about emotional search, right, of spending, and that's where my money goes. But now it's more of sitting back, really projecting and discussing with my spouse on what are the major decisions. How are we able to budget it, be it a family holiday or even a purchase of a home? One question is to ask yourself, how is this going to impact my future?
How do you help parents balance between providing and overgiving?
I would say that it's a fine balance, and sometimes we do step over the line, right? Because we will tell our kids, no, you can't spend that. But sometimes out of guilt, you will want to spend more and to be able to splurge on occasions. The balance is in the budget still, because today, if I am going to bring my kids out to spend, have I budget for it? Can the kids be part of this budgeting? Because they can take charge and plan what kind of activities they want and saving up as a family together. Yeah, that will actually help to bond the kids. And the kids have ownership of what they want to do and where the money comes from.
And you wrote in
Yes.
about planning for harmony in a family.
Yes.
Why is this important when it comes to money?
I would say I have seen my fair share of families and relationships failing because of money. Yeah, be it the lack of it, or be it, they want more of it and they are fighting among each other in terms of siblings, squabbles, and being in debt, and when things really happen, when they actually pawn the assets and, they can't redeem it and things like that. And that discord in the family actually affects me, because I treasure relationships a lot. And I feel that, relationship and the years that you have spent growing up is a waste to just be torn because of this topic called money, right?
Right.
So when we relook and redesign our enough, then the money is just a means. It's a tool. It's no longer what rules our life anymore. And that will actually look at, what is it that I want? Who is it that I want to be harmonious with? And is it worth fighting over this?
And what's your view on planning holistically versus chasing the next big investment?
I would say sometimes we do tend to fall into this trap, and it's human nature, right? Because we are so much influenced by what's happening, and it's the same thing. We want more or better in our life. Holistic planning is not just about, thinking about what I have right now, but as your life and goals change, right? You need to tweak your portfolio according to the changes as well. And that comes with where you are. So that's why I'm on a platform where I'm able to tweak these changes for my clients, despite whether this company is no longer active or this company product is not as competitive, because changes matters. And, as I always tell my clients, today, if someone approach you from a bank and the products that they have is going to fulfill the gap in your planning, just let me know, because I want to redesign it for you. There's no right or wrong, but it's me walking this path together.
What is the biggest risk high achievers tend to overlook when it comes to financial planning?
I would say high achievers. There are high achievers I know that do manage their money well, but it's more of because they are chasing the next big thing and the success of it, right? Sometimes the relationship is the one that is lacking, because they don't spend enough time, communicating, listening to each other, but it's about the doing.
Oh.
Right? It's about how do we plan next, what is the investment, what's the retirement, but at the same time, are you asking whether the other party feels the same? Emotionally, are they inclined to follow you? Or they are just doing it out of, I don't want to have conflict, so I just follow, right? So these are the little triggers that we need to take note, because high achievers tend to block out their own emotions as well. And that will block out, how we communicate with our kids, with our spouses.
How do you define success for yourself and the families that you serve?
I would say success, there is always a personal definition to it, right? So last time I would feel because of the industry I'm in, success is about, having that money, driving a big car, having that luxury bag. But as I grow up, I find that success is how you make a difference in people's life every day. And it's not just about the big thing, but it's about the little things that you do. And it can be as simple as you giving up your seat to someone else, right? Because that could have changed the whole mood and the day of this person. And that is what success means to me, because every day you are making a difference in someone's life with the things you say, the things you do, the energy you bring into the room.
What does a meaningful legacy look like in today's fast-paced world?
Legacy, what most people understand, is always about, what you leave behind, right? In terms of financial success, be it a company, the business. But to me is, how are people celebrating after you left. Right. I will always tell my kids, can you have a dance party at my funeral? Because I would have left something behind, right? It's always about the difference that I make in people's life. And it's a
Right.
celebration. It's not a sad event that I'm gone because, yeah, I would have made my impact in the world. And that's to be celebrated. And I feel legacy is when all your lessons are being passed down because everyone has a story, everyone has lessons to share. No matter whether is it big or small, it's something for the next party to learn and grow up from. So that is a legacy of stories, legacy of values, and legacy of the impact that you are creating.
If your daughters could take away one lesson from your journey, what would you want it to be?
I would say make lots of mistakes because I used to dread making mistakes, right? So
Right.
the perfectionist in me will always beat myself up.
Wow.
Even after, taking the wrong answer in the exam. So I will keep replaying it. And what actually helped me to, calm my mind is this phrase called, there's no failure, right? Yeah, so there's no failure and you are always learning from it. And it's a stepping stone. So the mistakes are stepping stones to your growth.
Wow.
Right. And if you don't fear it and, you learn from it, you are growing every day because we do make mistakes every day and that's part of being human.
If you could leave our listeners with one question to reflect on today, what would it be?
I would say love yourself because empty cup cannot pour into others, right? So sometimes we feel guilty about, giving ourselves too much, self-love, time because of the society and how they define you. Don't worry because you taking care of yourself can serve many other people. And that comes from a space of love rather than a space of lack. And that will keep you and your emotions in check. And you are truly giving only when you are not expecting to receive. The one question is to love yourself and to ask whether is your self-worth defined by you or by others.
So that's all we have for episode 99 of our show. See you for episode 100.